It is Monday, November 17th, 2025. This is another off-season edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well, as we are in the early stages of the off-season. And speaking of going off, you're going bye-bye for a little while, right?
We are. We're going to Japan.
Yes!
Kids, Livia, mother-in-law, and I were going. Not taking our dog. We're having a house sitter come and stay at the house and take care of it. And but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't really know what to expect. We have plans, but I just want to go and get away and enjoy time with the family. And I think we're gonna be able to do that there.
Comments. If you've been to the Far East, let us know. Where should he go?
Yeah, give me some tips.
So you're going to be in Tokyo for a little while, right?
Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, kind of doing the three major spots there. I would love to go back and do a ski trip in Japan. That's not in the cards this time, but I don't know, man. I'm excited. All I've ever heard from anyone that's ever went is it's amazing. You're not going to want to leave. The culture's beautiful. I'm like, yes, in all of it.
And you won't be able to get away from baseball because it is the number one sport over there. I'll be curious. Just take a mental note on how much Shohei Ohtani you see over there.
I'm bringing my Shohei shirt. Do you think I get recognized there? No way, right?
Ooh.
Like he's talking baseball. How's our Japan audience?
What about Baseball Today? I mean, isn't that the bigger one over there?
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that.
Hey,
I meant John Boy Media.
I'm kidding. My guess is Ben Verlander can't get off the plane there. He gets hounded. That's my guess. I don't know.
He's big in Japan.
All right. But let's get through this show, your last one, before we send you off on your little vacation, and well earned. Speaking of earning power, Josh Naylor, the first to really re-sign on the dotted line. He's not going anywhere. Jeff Passan was the first to report of ESPN that it's a 5-year deal. We're hearing 90, 100 million, not exact. What would you, if I set the over-under at 91.5 million for the 5 years, what would you take? At this point, we don't know what it is.
It seems like over because it happened so fast. Now I know like he wanted to be there, they wanted him there, so that's another reason why it could have been this quick. But typically, if a guy signs this early in the offseason, he's getting what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So monetarily wise, especially, I'd go over that.
Yeah, so roughly $18 million a year if you're going to play the 90 million card. That's a great number, I think, for a first baseman. He's a guy who's still in his late 20s. He was awesome when he came over from Arizona. Midway through, he hit 299. Here's his slash line: 299, 341, 490 in 54 games with the Mariners. He was great in the postseason. Hit almost 350 in a dozen playoff games, 3 homers. Really just looked like he fit in. I told you this story before. I was in Anaheim doing an episode of Dugout Discussions the day that he arrived with his new team. And one of the questions was, hey, listen, you're going to be a free agent, and people really don't like coming to Seattle to hit. And he said, no, I'm going to stop you. He said, I don't understand that because I hear it all the time. I love hitting there. I love it. And I know you've talked significantly about the numbers not being great for hitters up there. Sometimes it's just a case when I talk to certain dudes of being comfortable in a setting. He has been, and he just fit in perfectly.
Yeah, that's true throughout different pitchers, different ballparks. Sometimes it just works for you. It just worked for Naylor there. Like seeing the ball. When I think back to Seattle, it was never about me seeing the ball. It was just about like I couldn't hit their pitching. And maybe like seriously, but maybe I didn't see the ball well there, but I never thought that in the moment. I just felt like, hey, kind of cold, kind of a big park, pitching's pretty good, tough place to hit. That's what I would say. But Naylor clearly enjoyed it. And you're right, like the stats are great. Obviously, when you're going to give a guy a 5-year deal, you want the stats to be there. But the vibes, I think, are better. Like you need energy guys like this on your roster. And I think he brings that. And that's, you might like say, oh, it's stupid. That doesn't mean anything. Like it does. It means a lot. 162 games and 180 days. Like you need energy guys on your team. He's one of those guys. So like it means a lot. And that was the perfect marriage. And don't forget about those stolen bases. We were talking about that a lot. Just amazing. Not the fleetest of foot, as we know, but a smart base runner. I think that's in the equation as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you can pencil him in
Mhm.
for 30 swipes a year, but it was fun to watch. Let's keep in mind with the Mariners, and this is what one of the reasons this is so important. They have never made the playoffs in consecutive years. Even when they had that nice run from 95 through 2001, they could never match it up where they did it one time, I apologize, and that was it, 2000 and 2001. That's the only time in the history of the team that they've ever done it. So they've been around 5 decades. They're trying to make it happen again. I think they've got a great shot. I know that at the end of the year, when we said goodbye to them after the ALCS, you were a little hesitant to say, well, yeah, I expect them back in this position. This will obviously, I don't want to necessarily change your thinking here, but I imagine that, I don't know. Did you say that thinking that Naylor was going to resign or not?
I mean, there's a big chance just because the way that, you know, it looked like it made sense. Then directly after all that, like Dipoto came out and said he's a priority. Naylor said how much he loved playing there, so it made sense. The reason I said that was you can't expect Cal Raleigh to have that season again.
True.
I'm sorry. Like it was such a good season. They rode that for a big part of last year. That was the reason I was talking about. And people, Mariners fans obviously very upset with me. They talked about, hey, the pitching should be better next year. Great. All I said was they wasn't a guarantee they were going to return to, the ALCS and be within, was it one game of the World Series?
Mhm.
So like, I don't know, man. I think they're going to be a good team, but I do think they're going to have to find more offense somewhere. Naylor for a full season will help.
Mhm.
It was just the Cal Raleigh thing, like, you can't expect him to have that season again.
Okay, I think that's all fair, by the way. One last thing about Josh Naylor. Having spent 4-ish years in Cleveland, and I do spend a decent amount of time around that team in spring training, and I try to get back to Cleveland, see them out west, all that sort of stuff. I didn't get to know him at all. I'd shaken hands with him a couple times and said hello, and that's it. But everybody loved him. Loved him because if you listen to him, everybody thinks, oh, he's this wild, crazy guy. Listen to his interviews. He's super bright. He is complimentary of his teammates. He hates talking about himself. I don't know if this is the Canadian in him or what, but he is like a wonderful guy to have on a team. I remember that when he was traded to Cleveland, I talked to somebody in the Padres organization. I said, well, what's the deal with Naylor, who obviously was a huge talent? He was drafted in the first round by Miami, got dealt to San Diego, and then traded to Cleveland in the Clevenger trade. He said, he's a great hitter and a great dude. I do wonder if he has, because he's so hard on himself, the ability to make all the adjustments you do have to make at the major league level, the dealing with failure at a even higher rate than you do in the minor leagues and all that sort of stuff. And he's done it. He's done it. He's made it, and he's become a great teammate. And now he's a really rich man,
He's
which
really
is good
rich,
for him.
huh?
Really rich. Good for him.
Just like you.
Not like that. No, I
One day.
never re-signed with a team for quite that. The, zeros were more to the right of the decimal point for me.
Mm.
All right, so that takes us to the Mariners in terms of what should they do next? And it could be a huge free agent signing. It could be bringing back another one of their players that's getting ready to walk out the door, although I don't think they have too many more of those guys. It could be a trade. What say you?
I think everyone's gonna go to bring back Jorge Polanco, which I'm fine with. I don't know what kind of contract he's going to get. I'm curious to have your take on that.
Mhm,
I think they need to have a stopgap at third base, Chris.
mhm.
Ben Williamson came up. They like him a lot. Didn't have a ton of success there at the big league level. And I go back to my days when a certain Oakland A's team signed me to play third base for, well, it ended up being like 3 months. But they gave me 1 year deal because they had a guy named Matt Chapman who they really liked behind. So a little stopgap third baseman. Like I'm not big on bringing Eugenio back there. I think he's gonna get a lot of money somewhere. At least I believe he is,
Mhm.
and I don't think that really fits what they need. Okay, I think they trade for Alec Bohm. Go get him.
Mm.
I think he's cheap. I think he can be had for pretty cheap, and it's a 1 year deal. He's a free agent. Um, I think that's the perfect stopgap for a guy like a Ben Williamson. Give him some more time to develop. But Alec Bohm in that lineup, I think, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so in that case, I wonder what they would have to give up for a rental?
I don't
I
think
mean,
much. I
I
think
don't
Philly
either.
wants to shed the payroll a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's gonna make, 10 this year or
I
something
think
like
that's
that?
right around where it is. Yeah, I think that's what it's
That's
expected to be.
to me, that's like a no-brainer, man.
Oh,
I
that's a
don't
good
yeah, again, the
call.
prospects matter, so what can you give up? But I think you can get it done.
Uh, I like doing trades because they're more fun because it involves more than just one team signing a player. But so people are going to say, "Oh, you're an idiot for even suggesting this." No, no way. But at the trade deadline, we did hear that maybe one of their pitchers was going to be available. Right? They've got a stud rotation, and if Brian Wu was 100% healthy, does it change the ALCS? I don't know, but you expect him to be fully there in 2026. So that means I'm keeping my eye on one of two guys. Logan Gilbert has 2 years of control left, and George Kirby has 3. And I think those are the guys that you're going to focus on because I think they would bring you back something decent. Now, this is all predicated on Boston not signing a big name or 2
Mhm.
to help out their rotation. So I think they go get somebody that is proven. I know that Kirby was not great last year and Logan Gilbert looked just absolutely filthy and you're saying, "Why in the world? Why wouldn't you just extend him? You know, he'll take over the money that once Luis Castillo's deal is up." And that all makes perfect sense. So Seattle fans, if you're yelling at me like this does I just am throwing this out there. I would want to bat like a Wilyer
I knew
Abreu.
you were going there. I love that.
I like completing the outfield with Randy for at least one more year, J-Rod in center, and then Wilyer in right because he is a great glove and he's got 20 homer pop. He's not a great on base guy, but he could be a 3 to 4 WAR player every year. He's in his late 20s. He's not making a ton of dough yet. I just feel like he fits. He fits.
I like both of those moves for the Seattle team.
Yeah.
So, I'm in. That's I'm a big Willie Abreu type guy. I think he can hit anywhere. He
Mhm.
has that hit tool. He can people in Boston have told me he can he can be a little bit streaky, but I think overall, like, the numbers are gonna land pretty good every single year.
Mhm.
Like, so I'm in on that.
Now there is a guy in their system because I always like to look at their top 5 prospects and their expected arrival date. Lazaro Montes, who started the year in single A, finished in double A, and hit 32 homers. He's a left-handed bat, um, and he's got massive pop. Now you're saying, well, why would you want to block him? I don't know where he plays in the outfield, so I'll be the first one to say I don't know where they see him at the next level. But Randy is in the last year of his contract. Now, do you want 2 left-handed hitting corner outfielders if that's the way I don't know. I mean, you want your best players, and if the kid's hitting 32 homers, maybe he still needs a little bit more time. I did see that a 2026 arrival date is expected. That doesn't mean there's nothing linear when you're talking about guys moving from the minor leagues to the
No.
major leagues. It's just not that way. Once again, I understand that. I did do at least a little bit of reading there as to why this trade might not make sense, but I also think it might make sense, and it's
Sometimes it doesn't
fun.
have to make complete sense, Chris.
I know, but I try to be practical as well. I like the emotional side of it. So, Seattle fans, tell me if that's something that works for you, both these deals. Alec Boehm from Philly. Obviously, we wouldn't know what would go back on a rental piece. I gave you something that would go back to Boston, and then you go back and you could sign a better rotation starter for 10 million this year
Okay.
and feel good. A guy that can eat some innings and I mean you've already got a bunch of other studs. Fun if nothing else. By the way,
I like it.
one last thing about Naylor. None of us drafted him in the free agency draft.
I know, I saw it. I went immediately to our draft board, and that was, like, kinda like a no-brainer.
But we mentioned that at the end when we were going over like
Yeah,
who's the next guy we would have picked or something like that. And we were like,
yeah,
none of us took Josh Naylor, which felt like a layup.
yeah.
Bad on us. If you haven't seen the free agency draft episode, go do it. It's a
That
ton
was
of
a good
fun.
one.
Yeah, it was good. And y'all are yelling at us, which we really love. Today's episode, Baseball Today, is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify, the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partner with them here at John Boy Media. John Boy Media has relaunched our merch store. on Shopify with our new slash line site, and it's been a dream. We brought the ideas, Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life really is a home run when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and the suite of AI tools, a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way that you can build and manage your business. You're going to have your own AI assistant guiding you on everything: directions, reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move all covered. And if you want to be like us, start building your brand from the ground up, it's time to go on over to Shopify and start your trial today. Click that link, shopify.com/talking, if you're ready to leave the amateurs and head on over to the big leagues. All right. We're going to do something fun. We just talked about the free agency draft show. Today, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a trade. I don't know if I'd call it draft, but today we're going to focus on the National League. So we're each going to pick a guy from each division that we think is going to get traded. If you want to send him to a particular place, that could be fun. And we're not going to pick the same guy. So we've each prepared two guys when necessary. All right. So we got some teams covered. We're going to start off in the National League East. Who is definitely getting traded, in your opinion?
Oh, so definitely that's not part of my equation here, but I think this guy has a good chance.
As close to definite as we can get.
Okay. The Washington Nationals, they bring in a new GM. They replace him
Mhm.
with this guy. His name is Paul Taboni. Like that last name. And here's a quote quoted. They're trying to develop a player development monster. Okay. Quote. So they're still a ways from competing, especially in that division. So a guy that is a Boris client who has 2 years of control left, I don't know if that makes sense for them to keep him around because I do believe this guy has a ton of value. I'm going Mackenzie Gore. Now, as I was doing research for this episode, he is on a lot of trade lists. So this is a popular answer, but I like it for, many different reasons. I don't think he's reached his full potential yet. I think we've seen flashes of it in Washington, a ton of swing and miss stuff. I think he has like pure stuff. It just needs a little bit of tinkering, whether that's pitch mix, whether that is, sequencing, whatever it needs to be done. I think mechanically he's very sound. He's durable. Every once in a while, he'll go through stretches where he just like walks the house. But overall, the walk rate isn't bad. There's just been times where it's gotten out of hand. So to me, he just needs some sort of different organization to tinker just a little bit more. I think Mackenzie Gore's best days are ahead of him. So like he has the numbers that support or that you'd be able to really, really get something back for him if you're the Nationals. So you'd want that obviously. But I also think he has the stuff for the team that's receiving him. Would they be willing to give up some good pieces? So I think Mackenzie Gore, 2 years left of control. I think that's very attractive to people who need starting pitching. And then again, I just think there's room for more here. And so some of these, pitching inclined organizations would really be looking at a guy like this. Lefties always mean something as well. If you watch him pitch, again, there are times where he looks like an absolute ace, and then sometimes where he doesn't. But I think he's more towards the former, and how I see him as a pitcher in the big leagues.
Yeah, the last 2 months were disaster, and I think that might scare some teams and also might bring bidding down a little bit where they're gonna say, "Hey, here's what happened." I still think that he's young enough and there's enough in that tool bag to where, yeah, you'd wanna go get Mackenzie Gore right now. I don't think he's the candidate where you deal for him and automatically giving him an extension. Like, we've seen that. The Dodgers did that with Tyler Glasnow a few years ago. Gave him $130 million, even though he hadn't pitched more than, 120, innings in a season.
Maybe not right away, but if you get him in there and you're like, "Okay, these are the changes we have in mind," and he makes them and they work, then yes.
Okay. All possible. All very possible. All right, for me, I think it's an interesting offseason for the New York Mets. I think they're going to get really busy in the free agent market. In fact, in the free agent draft show, I did not have a chance to pick Alex Bregman because I think he went off the board first, and I think Jake had him going to Detroit. I would have had him going to the New York Mets because I think they need some new, as I think the word I used was juju. I think they need
Okay.
a new mentality, even though they have a couple of guys that they've brought in recent years, big ticket items that have been successful elsewhere, and it just hasn't worked out. I thought that Bregman would have been the solidifying piece, which would mean that that opens up the door for Mark Vientos being traded. And I know that it's really dangerous to trade a young right-handed power bat that is under control for a long time. 2 years ago, he had 27 homers. Um, Last year, it just cratered. It got really, really bad. He slugged 413 and hit only 17 homers in 121 games. And down this stretch, when they really needed him the most, he was basically the invisible man. So, and as you can see, he was a negative WAR player a year ago. And so you're saying, why would teams even want that? Well, what I just mentioned, everybody at the trade deadline is looking for young right-handed pop. So if maybe you can buy him low, that's a good thing. Now, which team was disappointing last year that could actually utilize him? You want to have any guesses?
A disappointing team that could utilize Mark Vientos at third base.
Now, hold on. I want to say this. I want to preface it by saying they already have a young third baseman who has been up and down in his career as well, which is why you might be able to move Vientos to first.
The Texas Rangers.
The Texas Rangers is where I'm going. And it's swap of third baseman. I don't have Josh Young moving on. And this is a dangerous move too, because I thought he was going to be a rookie of the year after what he did in their 2023 World Series run. Evan Carter is a guy I think that could end up in New York. This is crazy. I know it's nuts. Both sides are going to hate me probably for the move. What are you looking at?
I want to see some Mark Vientos stuff on his Savant page. Because that was a quick fall off, and I want to see if there's like,
Okay.
just statistical reason why I didn't watch the Mets day in and day out. Although I did get to see him hit a lot, he did feel lost. He still hit the ball hard, 89th percentile and hard hit percentage. He was barreling the ball up, chase rate bad, whiff rate bad. That's very, that's pretty understandable for a young hitter in the league that doesn't have a ton of time. Although he's got 1,200 plate appearances now. Okay, I don't mind it. I don't know if I'm Texas, I do it. I think the Mets
Yeah.
probably would try to. That's the thing is you're selling really low on Mark Vientos right now.
Yes, you are. But you could see him. Um, couldn't
The
you see
glove
him
is
be a?
the glove was bad last year too.
It was horrible.
But I think a lot of that has to do with when you're struggling offensively, everything it could it could snowball on you. Although it was bad when he was good too. Never mind.
It was bad when he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might have to move him off of there, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the National League Central, where I'm going to
Is
go
he the new
first.
Danny Valencia?
Danny Valencia.
He's pretty
That's a good
like it's
one.
not too dissimilar, man. First of all, they're both from Florida. They both are like
Mhm.
swaggy dudes. They both have the hit tool without necessarily a position. New Danny Valencia. Danny Valencia is a pretty good hitter, man.
It's a good question. Good question. I like Danny Valencia. He was a fun one. He was a fun one
He's
to talk to
hilarious.
back in the day. All right, now we're going to move on to the National League Central. I'm going to go first. And I have mentioned the possibility of trading this guy for quite some time. I think that this is the year that Hunter Green moves on from Cincinnati. And people are, what are you doing? He's a 26-year-old phenom with an arm that can throw the ball through the backstop if he needs to. And this is all true. Now, Nick Kroll, their GM, was actually asked about this at the GM meetings. He said, hey, it's hard to actually say we're going to trade that guy who has a chance to be the ace of our staff and top of the rotation guy going into the postseason. So I'd say that we're looking to figure out how to get better, but right now, that's not on the table. The most interesting parts of that paragraph are, but right now, he didn't come out and say, hey, screw that. We are never trading Hunter Green. We think he is only getting better. He fought through some stuff to get back and make that first postseason start, which we know didn't go great, but that's part of the maturing process for a guy who we believe is going to end up as one of the top 5 or 10 pitchers in baseball. I didn't hear any of that. So when he said, but right now that's on the table, I'm putting it on the table right now. And I think it's going to happen. When you talk about he has the tools to be an ace, but he has never pitched more than 151 innings. He's never made more than 26 starts. He's got 3 years and 42 million, which is incredible for a guy who's got his type of stuff. I can see you're shaking your head at me.
I think you just said it right there. Look, okay, they would have to be overwhelmed by a
And they're
trade offer.
going to be.
And maybe, yeah, I mean, look, I would give up a lot for a starting pitcher who's essentially, I don't know, in the National League. What is Hunter Green? He's a top 10 pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years. What'd you say? 42.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous contract. It's a
Yes, it is.
ridiculous contract. So I
Yes,
don't
it
know,
is.
man. I know what you're saying. The Reds do have an abundance of starting pitching that's at the big league level or very close to it. Uh, I don't know if I give up on Hunter Green. I think if you want to go and you need offense and you think you can get a lot, there's other guys in their rotation you could trade as well that don't have the same value, but a lot of value where you can get back a damn good player.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to trade Abbott. I don't think people would give you a ton for Lodolo because he's never healthy. Singer's in the last year of his deal.
Why wouldn't you trade Abbott? If you're going to trade Hunter Green, why wouldn't you trade Abbott?
You could. You absolutely could. I think that I would go Hunter Green if I were the Reds. I think I just would. And I would call the Baltimore Orioles, who have been searching for a frontline starter. They somehow have figured out what Trevor Rogers does, and he actually got some Cy Young votes last year. And good for him that he's gotten his career back on track. So that'd be a nice 1-2 punch at the top. Now the discussions with the Reds start at minimum with Jordan Westburg. That's where it starts. As far as what else you have to add in to go get Hunter Green, I'm not privy to all that stuff, but it starts with Jordan Westburg.
I mean, it's one of the most valuable contracts in baseball right now.
Yes, it is. And I'm
So
not saying
I
this
don't
is
know, man.
easy. But
Yeah, I
you know
know.
what?
Yeah,
But,
it's
but Cincinnati has to do something. And they're not a team that's going to go out and spend crazy amount of money in free agency. They just don't. And so what's another way for you to get better is trade. And in order to get something good that will improve your team, you have to give up something good. So here it is.
all right. All right. I'm into
You
it.
hate it. You hate it.
No, I mean, look, obviously, okay, the way I think about it is, yes, that is your biggest trade chip. He's That's possibly the biggest trade trip in one of the biggest trade chips in baseball right now.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to get to the other one next, I think. Um, Yeah, look, I think it'd be fascinating what the return would be. It would have to be I am out on prospects. Yes, I'm gonna need some prospects. I need today bats.
Right. I just told you
I
Jordan
need
Westburg.
I need more than Jordan Westbrook.
I
I
I
need
said it's where it starts. You not hear
Yeah,
me?
I need
Hello, is this
yeah.
working? I said that's where it starts.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm curious how Reds fans feel about that.
I am too. I think people are mixed on Hunter Green. I really do because the talent is tantalizing. There's no question
He's
about
just been
that.
getting better and better, though. Why would
I
people,
know
like, have mixed feelings on him?
because I think
Valley
they.
Boy 818 for life. Hunter Green, you're my guy. You can play for me any day.
Hey, by the way, just because you're getting traded, that doesn't mean that's a
Chris
negative
Rose is
thing.
out on you. Don't listen to him.
No, that's not. I'm in for him. I wouldn't like him in the American League. I don't wanna have to face him with my Cleveland Guardians, but they have to face the Reds a lot anyway, so you have to face him regardless. So everybody else in the American League should have to deal with him too. Maybe that's my point. All right, who do you have?
So another guy who I think is one of the biggest trade trips. I can't say that word, that phrase. Trade
Trade
chip.
chips. Not easy.
Not easy. Freddie Peralta, the Milwaukee
Yeah,
Brewers.
yeah.
He's got 1 year left. They picked up the option for how much, Chris?
8? Oh,
$8 million
God.
for one of the best pitchers in baseball. Those are the stats on the screen right now. If you're podcast only, 33 games started to a 2.7. The whip's at a 1.08. He struck out over 200 people. A proven bona fide ace. Now, here's the thing. If you're Milwaukee, I feel like the deal is so good that you probably just keep him because he's the veteran of that very young staff behind him. And I think if you're out on Freddie Peralta and you go trade him because that's what you do as an organization, you're leaving yourself with a very, very young staff. And I don't know, like, I don't like that, but the Milwaukee Brewers, they think a little bit differently than everybody else. So if they could, and they've done this in years past, we've seen it. You can name a bunch of guys: Hader, Williams, Burns. They held on to Willie Adames and gave him the qualifying offer because he meant a lot to the team. So could that be in the same situation as this? Yes, but if I'm the Brewers, I'm certainly exploring what this guy could bring back because, again, just like Hunter Green, we're talking about like an ace for $8 million. Every
Well,
team is in on that.
yeah, I'm doing one of two things if I'm the Brewers. I am either approaching him about a contract extension right now.
Yeah, but it's not really the Brewers' way.
It is not. So it would be a little bit out of the box for them. Or I'm saying, okay, no worries. We understand. You just had a top 5 Cy Young finish. And you're only 29 years old. We get all that. You don't want to accept it. Then we're going to trade you. We're going to trade you. So I agree with this. I'm fascinated to see do you have him lined up to a team?
I just need a bopper. I need a bona fide offensive player coming back. Major league ready right now. We need offense.
Okay, so where's that?
I you tell me where you think. Oh, Dan wants him on the Yankees, of course.
Yeah,
It's gotta be. I don't think Spencer Jones gets it done. I mean, maybe it would. I don't know his track record. I want someone that's gonna hit for me today.
yeah. I mean, are we talking about one of the guys from Boston?
So that's the thing. Okay. I'm different than Milwaukee. Milwaukee will say, "Well, I want someone that's gonna be here for the next 6 years under team control," and, but I'm thinking if I'm the GM there,
Mhm.
and we've just gone over this year after year after year. It's like, okay, we got this great team. In 162, we can really figure it out. We got it down, but then we get into playoffs and when our offense goes cold, I need a bona fide guy that's like a raker, just a raker.
Mhm.
I got to think about who that is.
Yeah. Boy, I'm looking at Freddie Peralta's career numbers. They're interesting. They're
Ooh, I just had deja vu right now.
why?
Whoa.
What?
Glitch in the matrix. I don't know. Have you ever had deja vu before?
Yeah, why? What do
I
you
don't know
got?
why I had it.
What was said? What happened that made it deja
When
vu?
you said Freddie Peralta, I'm looking at his numbers. Freddie Peralta, it's interesting. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
really? You heard that somewhere
And I got
before?
Baseball Reference up right here. The whole thing
Oh,
was weird. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, Brewers fans are not gonna like that. I have a feeling they're out of all of the things we've said so far, I think that's the one they're
But
gonna
the alternative is what? Keeping him this year and then offering a qualifying offer,
Yep.
which is fine, I
I
guess.
don't love that. I hate
That's not
everybody's like, "Oh,
fun,
we're
but
gonna get the qualifying offer." Great. Let me go pick 3 of your best either prospects or young players that are in the major leagues already. That's what I wanna do. I wanna go pick those guys. To me, that's more fun
it's
and
gotta be on a
larger
win now
margin of error.
team, right?
Yes, they had the best record in baseball.
No, I'm saying to trade
Oh, to
him for the
trade you?
1 year has
Yeah,
gotta be like a win now because there's no
absolutely.
guarantee you can extend him.
Right. Like, so does he go to, the problem is if he goes to San Diego, which needs pitching help, what do they have that can help right now?
Nothing they're gonna give up.
Right.
The Mets,
We have everybody going to the Mets.
because they need pitching.
They do. Alright. I want to tell you a little bit about this because baseball today is sponsored by BetterHelp. Shorter days, they don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out, check in with those that you care about, and to remind ourselves we're not alone. As seasons change and days grow darker sooner, it can be tough for many. BetterHelp is encouraging everybody to reach out. You check in on your friends, you reconnect with those loved ones, you remind people in your life that you are there for them. Just as it can take a little courage to send that message or grab coffee with somebody on your team that you haven't seen in a while, reaching out for therapy, it can feel difficult too. But you know what? It's 100% worth it. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/baseball today. That is betterhelp.com/baseball today. All right, last division we're hitting here on the trade front, the National League West. You're up first. Who do you have?
This is a very difficult division to pick somebody in.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell everyone you gave me this guy, which I think is, now that I'm diving more into it, a very interesting situation. We have a catcher in Los Angeles who
Mhm.
probably deserves to be a starting catcher somewhere, and he's not going to get that there um, with the Dodgers because Will Smith. Dalton Rushing, who, when filling in for Will Smith this year, like, I thought he's had a really good stroke. Like, I like the left-handed swing a lot. Now, obviously, the numbers aren't overwhelming. He's a young guy, first taste of the big leagues. You can't really judge him on that. Go look at what he did in the minor leagues. Guy's a raker. Uh, so I think they could explore a trade for him. I think you could find backup catchers. A guy, I don't know, like a guy like a Danny Jansen. There's a bunch of guys that you can go get to be a backup to Will Smith while trying to kind of maximize his value. And I don't think, typically you'd say, well, you need to see him more at the big league level to maximize the value, but like, he's not really going to get that opportunity to. So I think you can trade him now and still get value. Teams are always looking for catchers that can hit. And I truly believe this guy can hit in the big leagues. So, I mean, there's a lot of different partners. The Padres are always looking for catching, but I don't think that's a situation where that happens.
Mhm.
Even though I think it's so fun. Like, why not? We should do
Even though
more
you
of
did
that.
have didn't you have
I know.
Fernando Tatis getting traded
I like that
up
a
the
lot to
5
the
freeway?
Dodgers. I
Yeah.
just said it would be a lot of fun, dude. Not that it's likely. Some teams that have come up in some of those rumors for Dalton Rushing, the Boston Red Sox. I don't know. There's teams. A lot of teams are looking for an offensive minded catcher. So I think he's he's an interesting case. I think the Dodgers could and should move him.
Yes, they should. I had him going, pardon my yawn. I had him going to the Houston Astros to pair with Diaz there, be the left-handed stick, but, um, eventually becoming the full everyday guy back there. That's where I had him going. Not that the Dodgers and, Astros really love each other, but that's what I had. I think that's a good choice. And you're welcome. I've got Brenton Doyle on the move from Colorado. Obviously, with Paul DePodesta, new man in charge, he's going to want to make some sort of splash. Brenton Doyle's been a solid player for the Rockies. He's obviously much more known for his glove than anything else. His OPS plus was down 30 points from 2024, where he was slightly above league average, to 2025, where it was abysmal. OPS plus of 72 is just not good. So you're thinking of trading low on him for that. I also think that Colorado probably just expects too much of him as a hitter. And you're saying, well, he's putting these numbers up and it's Colorado. Who the heck would want him? Well, earlier in this little trade scenario that we've been doing, I tried to send Evan Carter to New York because I think they need a center fielder. And if that doesn't work out, I think that this is a nice little consolation prize. Um, as a guy who can patrol center, I mean, we don't want Jeff McNeil out there again, folks. That's not what we need to do if you're the New York Mets that spend goo gobs of money. Here you can save a little dough, get a guy who can hit ninth in your order. He has been hitting fifth or sixth most of the time for the Colorado Rockies. That is not where Brenton Doyle should be hitting. So I look at this a little bit like the Andres Jimenez deal for Toronto a year ago. He did not hit worth a shit until it counted the most. And then he had a couple of homers that helped swing a series. And I don't know if Brenton Doyle can do that, but I feel like he can. So while everybody else is paid to mash up there at Citi Field, let this guy track it down in left center and right center and go hit 18 homers. And then when there's a big at bat in the postseason, maybe he'll connect. And then we'll be talking about Brenton Doyle the way we did Andres Jimenez this October.
I'm a big Brenton Doyle fan. I know this year he had some like personal family stuff going on early in the year, and I think
Mhm.
that really kind of got him off to a tough start. But I agree. I mean, he's a guy that can absolutely go get it in center field. We talk about a ton of teams that always need center field help. A lot of it comes down to Mets, comes down to Phillies. Um, I could see that too. I want to go back and revisit my Dalton Rushing because I thought I found a partner because they've traded a lot in the past and especially recently. The Cubs,
Hmm.
Miguel Amaya, who started to hit for them a lot, right-handed hitter. I was like, okay, maybe we can do like a righty lefty thing there. Did you know his splits are reverse? 887 against right-handed pitchers, only a 516 OPS against lefties.
What about Carson Kelly?
Yeah,
He had a good
Carson
year.
Kelly. Yeah, he's there 1 year though. One more year.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna trade.
You can trade Carson Kelly.
Oh, you wanna trade Carson
Yeah, I
Kelly.
mean, obviously you make moves. When you make moves, you got to make moves, Chris.
Okay, all
I was
right.
just thinking out loud, but I didn't know Miguel Maya was reverse split guy like that. That's very strange.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty substantial too. All right. So grade us on how we did. Let us know. It's a fun exercise. It's always enjoyable trying to figure out trade partners. And we don't just say, oh, we tried to get something in return for a few of these deals. Let us know how we did. If it was
You're
fun.
better at this than I am.
I find it fascinating. I love it. I enjoy it. I think I love trades. I'm a huge trade fan. I get so much more excited about the trade deadline than I do about free agency, to be honest with you. I just like it better. That's
Okay.
just me as a fan. One other quick note, Slashline. It's the new way to shop your favorite gear from John Boy Media's store. Same JM merch team, same awesome designs, just a better website, a better experience, a cooler name for our store as well. JM Slashline. Slashline's all about showing off your favorite team, your favorite player, your favorite moment. Do it loud and proud, people. Click the link in the description to shop now. Holiday season is fast approaching, so do it for yourself or somebody else that you love because it's important to love yourself. I love you and I'll miss you. Have a good, safe trip.
I
You're
love
going to
you
have a
too,
great
Chris.
time.
I can't wait.
Bring
I'm
me
so
back
excited.
something fun.
I got to pack today. It's gonna be a long day today, long flight
Oh,
tomorrow, but
yeah.
then bam.
You'll be fine. It'll be great. Jolly Olive will be filling in for you at the end of the week. We'll finish up with the American League trade scenarios so you don't have to, sit here and be worried about that sort of stuff. Okay. All right. But it'll be interesting. Let us know how we did in the comments. I love hearing from you. You don't have to use bad words. You can if you want. I don't like it. Why are you guys such idiots? Well, I don't know.
That's not a bad word.
Because not. Oh, I know, but I clean that up for us. I clean that up. Like, haven't you guys ever watched baseball? I partake in it occasionally.
Too
And by
much.
the way, some people, based on my attire last Friday when I was in Palm Springs and wore the robe, first of all, people were calling me Chris
Chris
Ro-
Robes. Yeah, there
Robe.
were some interesting aspects to what was going on there, no doubt.
Yeah, somebody said I should rotate between a robe, a toga, and a smoking jacket for all the off-season shows, which I'm taking into account.
You were naked at your friend's house.
Not
Interesting.
naked. I'm rarely naked. In fact, I shower with a swimsuit on. Michelle is so disgusted by the thought of looking
She
at me
is
naked.
not.
She is.
Michelle loves you.
But yeah. Yeah, she does. She does. That's true. I'm very fortunate. We both
Yeah,
are.
you are.
All right, travel safely. We'll miss you. Have a great time and bring me back something good, just like my parents used to when they went to the Far East. This will do it for our Monday episode of the show. Congratulations, Josh Naylor, no matter how big the bundle was. On behalf of our one-of-a-kind producer, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you later this week on Baseball Today.